everybody, welcome to another episode of Rookie Collectibles. I'm Daniel.
And I'm Cheryl.
And today we have the one, the only Reis O'Brien! We are at the STGCC, that's the Singapore Toy Game and Comic Convention 2018. And we'd like to thank Simply Toys and Anne for bringing Reis down.
Thank you.
So here we are at Reis's booth. This is the Tiny Ghost booth. Check the awesome artwork we have behind us though.
Yeah, we also have an awesome display of
the rather big ghosts, actually.
Super big ghosts.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for doing this with us, Reis.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yeah, let's begin. Maybe we can fire off some questions and let's see where this takes us.
Okay.
Yeah, so we want to find out more about you yourself, Reis, as an
Sure.
artist. How do you actually start out as an artist, going to Funko and eventually into Bimtoys?
Okay. Well, I've always drawn ever since I was a little kid. I always wanted to be in the toy business. I wasn't sure how to get into the toy business. There's no book that says step one, do this, step one, step two, do that. So I actually just became like a freelance artist for a long time. I got a degree in illustration and graphic design.
Nice.
So I worked for various small companies, mostly doing like logos and that kind of thing. I eventually found myself working for a t-shirt company doing graphics for t-shirts, which at the time I thought that was my dream job, and then that t-shirt company had a small toy department because they would make these little tiny small toys that would come with the t-shirts, and nobody wanted to be in charge of it. And I was like, oh, I'll be in charge of it.
Wow, nice.
And they were like, you want to be the toy guy? Fine. So I was put in charge of the design of the really small, cheap toys. So that was my first step into the business. And then a couple of smaller businesses later in collectibles and stuff. In the last one I was with, actually ended up getting bought by Funko, and I came along with the purchase.
That's a perfect segue.
It was awesome. I mean, it was a dream come true. I landed on my feet.
Nice.
Okay. That's really cool. All right, let's a little bit of questions about Funko, if
Sure.
you may. What's it like working at Funko?
It's awesome. It's a lot like what you think.
Yeah, I guess.
It is a dream come true. I've been there 7 years, coming up on 7 years, and no, just over 7 years. And I've never once been like, oh man, I don't want to go to work today, because every day is, besides the people that I work with who are amazing, like that's my favorite part, the team is just incredible, but like you're always working on something different, and you always have new design challenges, so it never gets monotonous, it never gets tedious, and then every now and then you get like this crazy surprise about something you get to work on, so I mean, it's literally a dream come true.
Do you actually decide on what you get to work on, or do you actually have, if you have a preference towards horror?
Sure.
I know you're a huge fan of Star Wars, right?
I'm a bit of a Star Wars fan.
So how do you actually decide on which projects you work on?
If you're a fan of something, they're pretty good about keeping people in mind who might love this or might love that when we do get a license to work on. That way they can kind of assign everything to the people who are really going to enjoy it, because if you love it, you're going to put a lot of care into it as it's being designed, right? No, and that's important. So that personal touch really does translate into the final product, hopefully. I mean, that's the goal.
This seems to be a really awesome company you work on, and you're one lucky guy.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yeah,
I love it.
So out of all the, can you tell us what are some of the Funko products that you have designed? I mean, for the sake of some of our friends at home that don't know.
I've worked on a lot.
What's your favorite?
Oh no.
Now I've got to ask that question.
That's hard. It's very hard. I've worked on a lot. Currently, I'm the design manager for all Star Wars vinyl products and all action figures. Okay. So I do a lot of design there, but I work with a team. I'm not just sitting there by myself doing it alone. Especially now that I'm a manager, I'm kind of working with a team and overseeing a lot of the design, which is a pleasure because they're amazing people. But before I was put in charge of those two categories, I've done a lot. I've worked on Game of Thrones, I've worked on Marvel, I've worked on Walking Dead. I did a lot of Walking Dead, a lot of mystery minis, things like that. And then weird little things here and there, like Metallica, or I'm a bit of a metalhead, but so I've done a lot of little things. I guess the thing I am most proud of still to this day are the Garbage Pail Kids mystery minis.
Okay.
I don't know why. I love them. They were
It's
so
a very
much.
specific line.
Yeah, that is a very specific
They were weird. They're so bizarre.
Okay.
And I grew up with Garbage Pail Kids when I was a kid, and I collected the cards. So when I got the chance to work on those, I like really put my best into them, you know. And yeah, we got a couple of series out of it, and I'm very proud of them because they're gross, and I love that they're like gross and cute.
I just love how you managed to do what you wanted to do.
Oh yeah, it was
That's really
great.
important, and it's really great that Funko allowed you to do that.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
All right, are we going to move to Bimtoy now?
Yes, we
Shall
are.
we? Yeah, let's do
Okay.
that. We've been waiting for that.
All right.
Let's talk Bimtoy. First
Okay.
things first, what's with the name Bimtoy?
Where did that come
Yeah,
from?
where did that come from? Yeah.
So when I was a baby,
I didn't know it was going to go
Yeah,
that way back.
I know
Totally
it goes
about-
back to when I was born, like literally the day I was born. For some reason, my grandmother started calling me Bim.
Oh, really?
I don't know why.
Okay.
We don't know why. So as a kid, I was Bim, and then a lot of my aunts and uncles called me Bim when I was little as well. It didn't last long, and don't start calling me that. But when I was a very little kid, like a toddler, I was called Bim by some of my family, and what happened was, and not to get weird, but I was starting to make like strange toys out of like Sculpey, just for no reason, like
You had
just.
it in your blood from young.
Yeah. No, I mean like as an adult, like probably I don't know 6 years ago, I think. I started making these weird toys. I'd worked during the day at Funko, and then I'd go home at night, and I'd sit in my garage or my office, and I'd make
Kind of like
these.
your own experimentation kind of thing?
Yeah, what it is you do all this creative stuff at work all day, and then you got to go home, and then you still have this weird stuff in your head.
Right, and you gotta get that out.
And you got to get it out. Like you got to kind of like just blow the spider webs out of the pipes, and then you can go back to work the next day and be fresh. You know.
So that's your process as well.
Yes,
right?
yes. So I would go home and I would make this bizarre stuff, you know, like I made like, you know, boogers with machine guns and like,
I
mean,
can see
just
that.
the strangest
I
stuff.
want to see that.
Yeah, I know, it's really bizarre.
Oh.
And I was making those, and then I decided, oh, maybe I'll open up a little store envy and I'll sell them there, you know, for cheap. So I did, and I was like, oh, well, I need a name. And this was on a Monday when I was going to start my store envy. I was trying to think about it, and my grandmother had passed away the day before.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
So sorry.
And I wasn't able to go to the funeral because I was actually very sick and I couldn't fly. So for some reason she was on my mind, and that she called me Bim from when I was a little kid, and so I named it Bimtoy.
That's a very heartwarming story.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was.
Grandparents
I didn't
always
put
have
a-
a very special place in our heart. Yeah,
I didn't put a lot of thought into it. It's just she popped into my head, and I remembered being called that by her as a child, and I'd made that little logo of the little kid's face,
Oh, wow, okay.
and that's Bim. You
That's
know,
really
so-
nice to
That's
hear.
really
We're
cool,
very
yeah.
happy to hear
Thank you for
story.
sharing that
Yeah,
story.
of course.
Yeah, but let's move on to Tiny Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's something that all of us has come to know and love.
Sure.
And that matte collections that we've seen as well.
Yeah, so we want to know like where did the idea for the platform come about, and how do you actually settle on that platform?
Well, I've been obsessed with ghosts since I was 3.
Wow.
And I've always liked ghosts. I've always drawn ghosts. I always like Halloween, and I like Halloween stories. And I love the classic ghost, the white sheet with the 2 dots.
Right.
Like, I don't know why. I just love that. It's so simple.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes to mind when you mention ghosts, right?
Yeah, of course, right?
The classic Halloween.
Right, exactly. So I was originally, when I was making Sculpey toys, I was taking glow-in-the-dark Sculpey, and I was making these really crude shapes and sticking a couple of black beads in them. And they were like these, they're horrible looking, but they were fun to make, and I made hundreds of them.
Wow.
And they were called, and I would kill them in different ways.
Okay.
that's
So
fun.
they have,
Okay.
it was horrible. I'd have like bullet holes in their heads and knife wounds in their chests and
It's
ropes
the
around their necks. It's
obvious
horrible,
cause
but
of death, right?
and that was called the obvious cause of death
All
ghost.
right. And
Because
there
their
you
cause
have
of death was obvious.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
Origin stories,
Yeah,
guys.
there you go.
Yeah,
Origin stories.
something so simple,
There
but
you go.
something so fantastic. Yeah.
So I was making those, and
Yeah.
I was selling those on the Bimtoy site.
Right.
And then I don't know. I kind of quit after a while. I was doing other things. My Funko work got really busy, so I didn't get to make stuff on the side. And then one day I was trying to come up with a new character, and I was thinking about simplicity.
Okay.
And I was thinking about characters like Snoopy
Okay.
and Miffy.
Oh, right.
You know Miffy? Okay.
Yeah, we do.
They're so clean. They're so simple.
Right,
They're
yeah.
so
Yeah.
like they're so white and with little dots
Right.
and just very very simple. And I was thinking about how
Yeah.
simplicity grabs people.
I
A
think
lot of
it's-
right? Do you know what I mean?
Yes, I know
Like,
what you mean.
a lot of people think that it's all noise and graphics
Yeah.
and that's what grabs people. I mean, that grabs some people. But simplicity is universal.
Yes.
Everyone can look at Snoopy or Hello Kitty and go, oh my God, that's cute.
Yeah,
Right.
and
You
I-
know it instantly.
Yeah,
that's,
exactly.
that's cute.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, how simple could I make something and capture cuteness?
Right.
And then ghosts are very simple, and they're always on
And
my
it's
mind.
something like, yeah.
So one day I was this is the original sketch.
Oh, nice.
So I was just doodling, and I came up with this little 3/4 view
Yeah.
of this ghost kind of hugging his chubby
Yeah.
little stomach,
Yeah.
and with a couple of little dot eyes, and I was like, oh, he's so cute, he's such a tiny ghost, you know, and then I wrote that under there, and I
Okay.
drew that, and I didn't do anything else.
Okay.
And then a couple weeks, you know, I don't know, a month went by, and I rendered it out in the Illustrator and made some stickers.
Nice.
And I made various stickers
Right.
with a skeleton on him and an
Yeah,
axe
yeah.
in his head, and you know, and I started selling the stickers on my Bimtoy website.
Yeah, I think we saw that. As
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
And people really liked them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
they were
we
selling
do.
really, really quickly.
I think it is exactly what you say. It's how simple it is, but
Right.
how powerful it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, okay, maybe I'm onto something here. So then I got the brilliant idea. I wanted to learn how to pour resin and make resin
Ah, right,
figures
okay.
because I'm a big
Yeah.
follower of like
Right.
resin artists.
Oh, okay.
So I wanted to do it too, but I didn't know how.
Okay.
So I needed a simple shape to
Yeah.
do, and I went, oh, I'll do that ghost. So this is
Nice.
embarrassing. So this is my horrible attempt
No, it's
at
not
it's so
horrible.
look at it. It is so bad.
If anything, it's adorable.
It looks like it's been chewed up by a bear. Like it's just. But I tried. I'm not a good sculptor. Like I'm not even remotely a good sculptor. But I tried to make one, and this is the original. And I made them out of glow in the dark
Oh,
Sculpey.
Nice.
And I was like, all right, I'm gonna make a mold of this. But then when I made it, I went, I can't make a
this
mold of
is
that.
the
It's horrible.
prototype.
This is
Yeah,
This
this
is
is the
yeah.
prototype.
This is more of a 3-dimensional sketch.
I
okay.
see.
Yeah, not quite a
Okay.
prototype.
I mean, it's still 001 though.
Yeah.
This is the prototype.
Ah,
So what
okay.
happened was I went
That's a
to
cleaner version.
one of the Funko sculptors, Nina,
Okay.
who is amazing, and I went to her and I was like, hey, can you help me with this when you get like some spare time, like
Yeah.
you know, on your lunch break or something like that. And I was like, this is what I'm trying to make. Here's the drawing. And she looked at me like I was an idiot. And she was like, yeah, I can do that in like 10 minutes. I said, okay, great. So she made this. And this is
Wow.
the original 3D output that we had made
Right.
from her digital sculpt.
This is a lot closer to what we see
Oh
over
yes,
here.
yes,
yeah?
yes. So well, that's because she did the digital sculpt, and once we had that, I
Right.
made this, and I was making molds and pouring the
Right.
resin, and I made a bunch of those, and they were selling like crazy.
Good.
Yeah.
People seemed to like them, and I was like,
There's
wow.
something about the eyes also that kind of remind us of Funko.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's kind of that.
Oh, I hope not.
Okay,
Oh, I'm
really?
trying to make it a little different. Oh, I'm trying to keep it different, but I mean, I know
But
people.
I think it's a kind of crossover where we see like there's something cute about it, but there's something also
Yeah.
simple about it.
Well, that's the
Yeah.
universal cuteness, you know, little dot eyes,
Yes,
little round
exactly.
eyes, you know, so you're going to run into similarities,
Right,
you know,
for sure.
I mean, you're going to see, you can look at this and see a little bit of Hello Kitty, a little bit
Yeah.
of Mickey,
Yeah, no,
you know what I
exactly,
mean?
yeah.
I tried to make it as non-Funko as possible,
Okay.
you know. But anyway, so I was making the resins, and then, I can't remember how long, 2 years ago?
Okay.
Has it been 2 years? I think
Wow.
maybe
Wow, yeah.
3 years?
Time flies, man.
I can't remember anymore. Sorry, I'm very jet lagged.
Okay.
Anyway, I got an email one day from this guy Joe,
Okay.
who works at Bottleneck Gallery. It's a co-owner, and he was just like, it was real simple. It was like, hey man, love your stuff. You want to make a vinyl toy?
Wow.
Wow.
And it turned out like one of the Funko collectors, named Michelle Popovich, I love you so much. She was the one that she was friends with them, and they were talking about wanting to make a vinyl toy. And she said, "Oh, you should follow this guy Reis. He works for Funko, but he's making these little ghosts out of resin." And so she's the one that got it started. And then
wow.
Joe contacted me, and I just said, "Yeah, sure, let's try it." And there you go.
That's how it
Wow.
started.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
nice.
kind of
There you go.
wow. Thank you so
So,
much for sharing
yeah.
that history with us, man.
Yeah,
That's just so
I
cool.
never
I'm sorry, it was a
so
little
much.
long-winded.
It's okay.
Oh, I never knew there was so much background
Yeah.
to Tiny Ghost.
Yeah.
It was really awesome to hear about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Moving on. All right. So we have seen countless iterations and colorways for the Tiny Ghost already. And I'm pretty sure everyone at home as well.
It's not
has
quite
a-
countless yet. They're all here. You can count them.
I've still got
What
to
is it,
borrow your
20
fingers and toes though.
22? 22 so far,
All
I
right.
think.
Which is your favorite Reis? Yeah. Pick one.
I don't.
Sorry, put you on
Alright,
the
yeah,
spot.
the ultimate.
Oh man. I mean, I love them all. They're a lot of fun, and I
Right.
do themes. I
Right,
don't know if
yeah.
people have caught on to that yet. Like I do the tricolor theme, like the
Right.
bomb pop
Okay.
and the candy corn and
Yeah.
Neapolitan. Then I do the skeleton series.
Right.
So I'm trying to do. So there's themes in there. So I love them for
Yeah.
what they are, but. I guess I love the white OG. Like he's my
Right.
he's my boy. Like
Fair
he's
enough.
my
Yeah,
Fair
it's
favorite.
enough.
true.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
original, right?
because he's
Yeah.
a blank canvas. So when I look at
Right.
him, I look at the hundreds of possibilities.
Yeah, that's true.
If not thousands, you know.
I think it's something magical about the blank one as well because there's so many customs that have come out from it and they're
Oh,
so
yes.
I
awesome.
love the customs.
Yeah, we
Yes.
do as well.
There's amazing customs
Right.
out there.
For sure, and lots of talented fans as well.
Oh
though,
yeah,
right?
oh
We've
for sure.
seen a lot
Amazing
of, yeah.
fans. Yeah.
Like, just really quickly,
Yeah.
since this is STGCC, with Simply Toys, you brought us this. This is the Ranker edition. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that for a moment? Yeah.
Well, there's not a lot to tell.
Okay.
We got together with Anne,
Right.
and she was pretty quick to show interest in
Oh, nice.
wanted to kind of support what we're doing. She believes in this and thinks it's going to be kind of one of the next big things. I hope that's true.
It is. It is.
We know it is.
I mean, I think we're well on our way.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, she had contacted Arseny at Bottleneck,
Okay.
one of my partners in this,
Right.
and Arseny and Joe. And she said, hey, I want to do this. They contacted me and said, hey, you down for this?
Yeah.
Like a Singapore exclusive? I said, yeah, sure. I was like, but the problem was we didn't have a lot of time
Okay.
because we make a lot of these ghosts way ahead.
Right.
Yeah, like, way in
Yeah.
advance.
Yes, we understand.
So we had to basically beg our factory to make us another edition.
Wow.
And so we couldn't do anything that needed new pad prints or molds
I see.
or spray masks or
Right.
anything like that because those take time
Right,
to
for
develop.
sure, yeah.
Right.
So we had to use something that was a spray mask that we already had,
Right.
and we already had the skeleton spray
Right.
mask.
Which we love as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I love-
I
yeah.
think this was
Yeah.
badass.
It
though.
works. So I said, well, we still got the skeleton. We can give her a skeleton.
Yep.
And I said, I can't remember who decided, but we ended up with red on glow white. So
Yeah, because we love our glow in the
Yeah,
dark
I
stuff,
do love
and we
glow in the dark,
also
yeah.
like Singapore flag is actually red and white.
Oh,
so
yes,
I think that was
yeah.
something that was related to that. So I think it's a really awesome addition.
I
for
thought
us.
Anne chose the red, but she said she didn't. But
Oh,
maybe
really?
I did.
Okay.
I can't even remember, to be honest. These things happen fast, man.
Right.
In any case, thank you.
Yeah,
It's
you're
a-
welcome.
It's a
Yeah.
mad awesome
I
piece.
know,
We love it.
I know for a fact that when I designed it, and then she came back and went, "Can you make the white glow?" And I was like, "Let's ask our factory," and they can. I'll
Best
check it
move
out.
though. Best
Yeah,
move though.
but it's
Thank
really
you,
awesome
Anne.
to try
Yeah.
and create something exclusive for us as
Yeah,
TGCC.
exactly.
Thank you
Best
so much.
move though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So moving on. What can we expect from the Tiny Ghost line? Can we see more variants, more
you're done.
characters,
Yeah.
more sizes?
Oh,
We're not done with Tiny Ghost yet.
No,
so-
we're not.
We're just getting started,
Yeah. So
to
what
be
more
honest.
can we expect?
Well, we do various products. We also do, pins and patches, hats, shirts, that kind of thing. For 2019, I can go ahead and say that all the ghosts they're designed, the colors have been called out, and the factory is working on them now.
Right.
So I did
wow,
a year's
awesome.
worth of work,
Wow.
and it's done.
You work fast.
Yeah, I did. Well, I have another job, so I can't spend. You know what I mean? Like I'm very busy. So 2019's done. There's going to be a lot of ghosts next year. Like a
Okay.
lot are coming out. There's some really cool ones. We're trying to.
Oh my God! Tease us a little bit more, Reis. Come on, give us a little bit more that we can work
I'll
with.
just you'll see more flocked. You'll see
Okay.
you'll see more
Okay.
things that are clear.
Something
God,
we
I
can work
don't.
with.
You'll see a new character.
All right.
Yeah. So
okay.
the original ghost, his name is actually Tiny Ghost. That
Right.
is his name. Nerdy Ghost, his best friend, is
Right,
coming out
okay.
later this year. He's got
Okay,
these
yeah,
big glasses
that's
on. And so the love of his life,
Right.
Wow.
the
right.
girl ghost, whose name is
Yeah.
Luna.
Right. Okay.
She's coming out next year. Well, she doesn't know that she's his love because he's too scared to tell her. But
Oh,
that's
dear.
another story.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have
I
to
love
pick that
this.
He's
apart.
a nervous.
Oh, yeah.
He gets so nervous around her. And then we'll see more with like Kitty Ghost and Puppy Ghost. So we're building the characters.
Right.
Oh, we are
you
having
know.
a ghost family.
Yeah, that's
wow.
coming. Pretty
Yeah.
badass.
And we have more minis coming out
Right.
next year.
Yeah.
But next year it won't be like a 1 in 12 kind of situation
Okay.
because we're going to be including one rare,
Right.
Wow.
one super rare,
Oh gosh. Okay.
and then 5 ultra rare
Wow, so we're having something
that
about
will be
instead.
hand customized by me, sent back to the factory, and randomly inserted.
Oh
Wow.
man.
Yeah.
That's
All right.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Oh
gonna
my
be really hard to
goodness.
get.
Yeah. Okay. Lock up your wallets, guys. Come on,
Yeah.
let's get that ready for this.
We just want to make the
Oh,
hunt
yeah.
kind of fun for everybody.
Yeah, no, I love how you put something personal in it as well. Like
Oh, yeah.
something that's not just from a factory, but something else that you
Yes.
have handmade that your fans can get their hands on.
I think that's fun.
Yeah, I
Right.
think
Yeah.
it is.
For sure. What's this about a shark? I'm so sorry. I gotta put that
sharks.
out. Yeah.
So the sharks are, I just draw sharks in various ways. I doodle them. I like very quickly. I don't do it every night. But before I go to bed, I just do something.
Okay.
I try not to go to bed without having created something, without having put something into this world that wasn't there before.
Wow.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
Yeah, it does.
Whether it's
So
just
learn
a quick
from that.
doodle that's on Instagram, it can be that simple.
Okay.
I don't know why I started drawing sharks. I love sharks too, as much as
That's
I love
why.
ghosts. Yeah. And so I started drawing these silly sharks. People seem to like them. I'm getting a lot of questions about whether or not we're going to make anything.
Yeah, we're curious.
We don't have any plans at the moment,
Okay.
but
I think for myself, as long as we do see something created by you, I'm happy.
okay. Well, thank you. I apprhiate that.
Let's just keep it at that,
Yeah.
right?
All right, that's
But
fine.
Let's
I
keep
mean, I
a
would
wink
love
in
to.
it as
Don't get me
well,
wrong.
alright?
Yeah, I would love to do it.
Yeah.
I'll be seeing the guys at New York Comic Con,
Right.
and we're going to talk about the future,
Nice.
and
Awesome.
maybe
Awesome.
things like that will be the part of it.
We can't wait. We
Yeah,
can't wait.
We'll
Right.
see.
Okay, so before we move on, to wrap up the whole segment and stuff, we have quite a couple of viewers at home as well that are aspiring toy designers.
Oh,
So if you could give a piece of advice, or something that they could actually act on or look forward to, what would it be?
don't sit there and think about it,
Right.
Yeah, right.
because if you're thinking about it, you're not doing it. Just get out there and do it. Make it happen. It's so nowadays with the technology that we have, and the ability to contact people to collaborate with.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
so easy now. If you've got a silly little drawing that you're in love with, find somebody on Instagram that's like learning 3D sculpting, and they can work with you.
Yeah.
You can collaborate. You can send that to Shapeways and have it printed. You can pour silicone molds. They're easy. There's 1,000 YouTube clips on how to do it.
Yeah,
Just
that's
make
true.
something.
Yeah.
Put something into this world that wasn't there before.
There you
That's
go.
it. That's all you got to do.
Yeah.
Promote it, share it, try to come up with something that just makes people happy. Like that's really, as long as you can do that, you can go somewhere with this. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
There you go.
Yeah,
Reis
thanks,
O'Brien
yeah.
2018.
Yes. Cool, Marks. Yeah, let's do that. Right. So just to wrap this up, any last words? A
For
shout out to
fans.
your fans.
Oh God, yes.
To anyone you
I
any
mean,
camera.
God, mwah, I love you guys so much. Thank you so much. We, the guys that bought the Tiny Ghost would be nothing if it weren't for the people that kind of fell in love with it, follow it, enjoy it, brave the drops every month or so. I know they're hard. They're gonna get better. I swear.
We do.
We would be nothing if it weren't for them. So I absolutely will never forget that. And that's why I'm here. It's like this is why I want to do stuff like this, so I can meet people, so I can thank them. It absolutely means the world to me. So, shout out to you guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you
putting
so-
your fans first in your work as well.
Oh, that has
Thank
to
you
be.
so much.
They have to be first. Yeah.
All right, thank you very, very much,
Yeah,
Reis, for sharing
absolutely.
so much about the Bimtoy story. Thank you as well, Simply Toys.
For sure. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne.
Yeah, thank you very much. And thank you all for watching this episode of an exclusive interview with Reis O'Brien. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Do remember to hit that like button.
Subscribe as well.
Leave us a comment below on some questions that you think we missed out, maybe?
Oh, I'm sure there's a few.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And hopefully we can have a follow-up interview at some point in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
We'd love to catch Reis again.
Oh, I'd be happy
With
to do
more
it.
tiny ghosts behind us, hopefully. And
15 minutes here. Maybe.
all right, thank you guys for watching. We hope you guys enjoyed, and see you in the next episode.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.